A lot of people are like, well, naive to think that they're going to get something for nothing, which is, it could be the case in some cases, but for the most part, we want to be able to understand, like, like my personal finance, whether it be, how much runway I have for, emergency funds, or how much can I put into the business to be able to sustain ourselves for a certain amount of time. Personally, as opposed to just whatever profits that are coming from the business or outside funding. So we want to kind of pair those two together instead of thinking like,
How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
Good, good, brother. So now here we are. We have one of our first things and topics and subjects we want to talk about is financial foundation, right? So in this series of recordings, we want to let everyone know that you're going to go through from your expertise from financial foundation. And right now, today, we'll talk about personal finance and business infrastructure. So most people, including me and most people separate their personal and business finances.
Right.
But you're saying they're actually connected. You've always told me that. So can you explain how so?
Yeah, one of the big things I think that a lot of people think of, they always want to try and use other people's money, right? That's like the big catchword, like other people's money. But when it comes down to it, like you really have to know that you're going to have some skin in the game, you know? Investors usually will be like, well, okay, I'm going to give you $1 million or so. And they're like, what are you putting in? Right. Oh, I'm putting in the time and effort. Like, yeah, but you could just walk away. No problem. And a lot of people are like, well, naive to think that they're going to get something for nothing, which is, it could be the case in some cases, but for the most part, we want to be able to understand, like, like my personal finance, whether it be, how much runway I have for, emergency funds, or how much can I put into the business to be able to sustain ourselves for a certain amount of time, personally, as opposed to just whatever profits that are coming from the business or outside funding. So we want to kind of pair those two together instead of thinking like, oh, okay, the business is the business side and the personal stuff is my stuff. And sometimes a lot of people think like, oh, um, I can just use deductions or write-offs and everything. It's like every catchword you can think of, like write-off. Oh, can I write this off? Can I write this off? Now, what happens when you write that off? It just means that you're just using your, the business money to fund whatever you're doing, and write it off and, reimburse yourself or what have you. So think about it in terms of like, what is the amount that I'm taking away from the business? And then what is the amount that I'm taking away from my personal, right? So we want to just mingle those two together because, it's kind of foolhardy to think like, oh, the business is just business, personal is just personal. If you can combine those two together, it just makes much more sense to, be able to have a full awareness of, what's going on with your business, what's going on with your personal, and be able to, balance between the two, especially for, mom and pops that are just starting out. They have a great idea that maybe they'll just like, you know, doing a pop-up restaurant or something like that. And it's just fully funded by the owner, fully funded by the creator. How much do you usually have and how much do you think you have versus what you actually have? Right. So that's kind of the main point of trying to pull those two together, which is, I think fascinating for me as someone who consults on a regular basis about this. And it's one of the things that people run into. They're like, wait a minute, how about I do this? It's like, yeah, but how much do you actually have to be able to do that? So it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, and it's great to hear you say that because a lot of the folks you've talked to, you and I have talked to together, and even clients of mine as well, like, the startups, the founders, it's always about talking about their personal burn rate, determine how much risk they're taking. People don't understand that. They try to commingle things, to your point about people going, hey, we're going to spend this, but we're going to write it off. But
Yeah.
you have to know
Yeah.
the number. You got to know the
Right.
number, whether you're taking a loan out, borrowing,
Right.
whatever, or it's your personal
Right.
stuff. People don't know about it. Your wife don't know about it, girlfriend, whatever.
Right.
But you can't build a business around that type of methodology, right? And
Right.
most founders, people that start companies up, they don't know this. They skip this and
Right.
they wonder why they panic at month 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right?
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
what it is here is, to your point, the personal finance and business infrastructure, there are things that are connected. And the message is here is, Ray, you're the expert here. You've done it. We've done it. And I think from a personal finance standpoint, this is important for you guys, especially when you're starting up your new business and what you guys are trying to do. So it's important. So yeah, I encourage everyone again, we are going through multiple topics here, and the next one we'll be talking to is tax literacy for entrepreneurs. But again, encourage everybody, send us a direct message, send us any questions, ask for Ray, and we'll be here to help get you guys aware and give you that wisdom, wealth, and winning information. So, on behalf of Ray, thank you for listening on this episode. And the next one we'll be talking through is tax literacy for entrepreneurs. Thanks, Ray, for joining.
Thanks, man.